So far we've been looking at certain human traits, but those human traits have been your specific traits. We haven't had a chance to see what happens when those traits get passed on to new offspring. So with this, we're going to be able to see that sort of outcome. And so in order to do this, the first step is actually going to be to pick your parents' genotypes and phenotypes. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and select all of the hybrid genotypes, and in doing so, that'll allow my offspring to have a little bit of variation, but my parents won't show any variation because they'll have all of the dominant traits. I'm going to use this genotype and phenotype setup for both of my parents. So when you go to fill in your chart with the parent 1 and parent 2 genotypes and phenotypes for each one of these 6 chromosomes, make sure that they match. They'll be identical, but let's go ahead and see and find out what happens when we set this up and produce 3 offspring from 2 parents who are identical in genotype and phenotype. Now at this point, you can see that I have my hybrid parents here. Both setups are here in 2 different colors to separate each parent. And you'll notice that the hybrid phenotype is there because each one has a dominant trait on one side, recessive trait on the other. So again, 2 sides to a coin, 2 genes to a phenotype. Now each parent is going to pass off just one of their genes, to the parent. So as you see here, the coins are shaken into a container, shaken up, and now they're going to be spread out and reorganized between each parent so that we can see what trait was passed. Was it the dominant trait or the recessive trait? And how is that phenotype then going to match up with the parents? Will it have similar phenotypes to the parents, or will it have a whole new set of phenotypes? So we'll go ahead and watch how this parent 1 plays out, and then go from there. So you can see here, parent 1, parent 2 have now had their first offspring, and here's their genotype. Here we see the outcome of the what is the start here of the second offspring. So again, the coins are going to be reorganized, reshuffled, and placed back together so that each of their matching genes can be set side by side so that we've got a better picture of the phenotype of this offspring. One thing interesting to note at this point in time would be, how does the phenotypes of offspring 2 match with the phenotypes of offspring number 1? And finally, we have offspring number 3. Once these coins are organized and placed in order, we'll have a better picture of what offspring number 3 will look like. And there's offspring number 3. So again, one thing to note would be, how does offspring number 3 and its phenotype traits match up with offspring number 1, offspring number 2, and each of its parents? At this point in time, I went ahead and took each one of the 2 parents' genotypes, listed them in this chart, and you can see each parent is then hybrid all the way down for all 6 chromosomes, and then all 6 traits as well too. And I took the offspring from the video and placed them in the chart as well too. And I went ahead and highlighted each of the genotypes that did not directly match the parents' genotypes. So if I've got a pure dominant or a pure recessive, I went ahead and highlighted those, and you can see each one of the offspring has a slightly different, unique set of genotypes. Now, it'll be up to you to decide, are those enough to make them each unique, or are they extremely similar to the parents? The phenotypes will help you dictate that, but again, you can see here, based on what's highlighted, how each one's genotype is different from the parents. So interesting information here. Go ahead and take that, utilize it, and use it for your advantage.